Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for joining us today. My name is Rashmita, and I'm the event planner for Microsoft Reactor India. This session will run over the next 60 minutes, including Q&A. But before we begin, please take a moment to read our code of conduct. We are all here to learn together, so please be respectful of other people's views, understanding of differences, being kind and considerate in the way you engage. The chat section will be open throughout, and we do encourage you all to participate. I would now like to welcome Swamy, our speaker for today's session. He is an aspirant software architect and currently works at Applied Information Sciences. He loves to learn about new technologies, but for now, I will hand over to Swamy to begin the session. Let me bring him into the stream. Hey, hi Swamy.
Hey Rashmita, good evening. How are you doing this morning? Sorry, evening.
I am all good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you so much.
Great.
So,
Let me
shall I
bring
start?
your screen. Yeah, all yours, Swami. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
we
much.
can see your screen
Uh,
also.
okay, that's cool. So this is my GitHub repo, and inside that repo, I have created a separate organization and called it as a Tech Skills Academy, where I'm doing all the open source project like these kind of sessions. In one of that is learn Azure OpenAI, and in this learn Azure OpenAI, there'll be a multiple series from now till next 1 year. We'll be doing different sessions, so all the code will be here at one location. Okay, and the documentation, step by step documentation, whatever I'm showing here will be within these documentation folder. If you see that, you will have documentation, you will have collections, as well as you will have the source code, all that one. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. Welcome for this session, and I'm happy to do this session. Let's see what is that we are going to do. First, one disclaimer kind of thing. I'm a lifelong learner, so I apologize if I do any mistake. And what is that we are going to do today is we will speak about a few minutes on what is intelligence, and then few terms to understand this one little better. So we'll get some 30,000 to 60,000 foot view of what all these terms are. We'll see about those terms real quick, and then we will speak about ELIZA. So this artificial intelligence, or NLP, work has started back in 1960. We'll speak about that one, and then um, we are knowing, or we are talking about this NLP right in 2023, but the work has already started in 1960, and I'll speak more about that one. Then we'll quickly see that what is OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, Transformer, GPT, and then we will come and speak about what is this tokenizer, and then we will do some of the prompts using quickly using the Studio, Azure Studio, and then we will do with and also quickly we'll do it with the Postman, and then we'll use the own completion models using Python notebook, and then we will go ahead and do couple of samples in Python scripts, not in the Python notebook, but within a virtual environment we'll do that, and then we'll we'll learn that different ways to store the secrets, like app settings. And for Python and Node.js world, we have the .env file, and if you don't want to store there, you can create a environment variables, so that you don't need to write it in any file. It stores in your laptop, and once it gets deployed in the cloud, Azure cloud, we can create environment variables there also. And then we'll quickly look at .NET 8 console app, which does the same completion model. We'll see that. And final, if we have some time, we'll look at how to do the same completion model using GoLang. Okay, I have created this one. There's a small changes, and this is fast evolving. So fast evolving in the sense, today this there is one parameter and tomorrow you might not see that parameter. What I'm telling is, just now 2 minutes ago I just tried to upgrade it to the latest version, and then the demo which is working right now uh, is failing, but I'll show you that when we can speak about it little later. Let's come back and talk about this. First, let's see one visual image, and then on top of that, let's speak about this one. Okay, this one. Like, what is intelligence generally? If you see that, as a humans, we grow from child to different ages, and as and when we grow, we get intelligence by our day-to-day activities, by learning, or by previous experience, by visualizing something. So we gain the intelligence over the period of time, by all means, by senses, by observing, by talking to someone, by learning, by reading books. Like that, we have this, everything is in our memory. Okay, so in artificial intelligence, this is how the things will happen. See this, first we have to collect data on existing data. So the data will be sent for processing, prepare the data so that it gets fed into the models, the different kinds of algorithms. So general rule is 80 comma 20, that the data whatever we got it, we split into 80 for training and 20 to test that. Once we understand that, okay, the model is working good, then we will deploy into the inference clusters, so that we can use that deployed inference API to work on it, and that we can use it. And again, if it is not working, then there is a tuning of parameters and retraining the data. Like that, it learns from this one. This is one of the image which I want to talk about. And another important image which I want to speak about is, we generally hear a lot of terms. So let's see this one. If you see this here, artificial intelligence is like a broader broader one, and within that we have machine language, and within the machine language it is deep learning, and within deep learning it is generative AI. So this picture I just wanted to show everyone, so that you guys will understand how it correlates. Like, if you see that different people will show it in a different way, but net the thing is pretty clear. Like, deep learning, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, the data science is also there to prepare the data. But if you see that same artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and within the deep learning is generative AI. So I just collected few of the terms. That's about the terms. So let me come back here to speak about few of the terms. So let me quickly go back here at the top and see this, like artificial intelligence, like as I was mentioning. So that develops this intelligence and behaves or simulates the human intelligence. How is that happen? We just saw that we get the data, we'll massage or prepare the data, and then feed it to the different algorithms and break the original data into 80/20. That's the process. And again, within the artificial intelligence, it could be like strong or narrow or general or weak, different terms will be using. So strong API or a general API is general AI. So strong or general AI is, will do a lot of that. AI is doing a lot of things. Weak or narrow AI is one specific task, like a robot which is driving a car, like it's doing that one. Like a robot which can drive the car, cook that, and serve. So it's doing multiple jobs. I'm just hypothetically made up this scenario. I don't know whether this kind of robot exists or not. And then if you see that machine learning, it's subset. of this artificial intelligence, and it is developing that algorithms and models. We saw this one: collecting data, preparing model selection, train the model, evaluate the model, parameter tuning, prediction. Now, one simple thing until this production prediction is the machine learning, and the generative AI is the last step where it does the prediction. Instead of prediction, it creates the content. Okay, like what is the price of a car, or how many products should I release, some kind of this single or multiple predictions. Those kind of things will be falling under machine learning. The generative AI is, it does all these jobs, previous jobs, except that instead of prediction, it creates a new content. That means it might do create an image or voice or songs or anything. We'll see that. In deep learning also, we saw that it has got the vision, NLPs, and speech recognition. It's a large and powerful thing. And neural language processing is helping the computers to simulate the human, like understand the human language. Like if I type something, it responds to me. And now more and more it's becoming powerful and simulating this one. I'll show you one or two examples. We will love seeing the intelligence it is gaining. Now, if you see the generative AI, the only different thing is it creates a new content, generate new content, maybe text or images or music. Okay, so it might use some level of creativity because it has been fed through a lot of data, it has been trained through a lot of data, so it has got tons and tons of data which has been trained. And I read an article, few millions of parameters has been used, billions. So I was stunned to see that. And whatever the things which we will be using, we'll be using the latest model. Okay, so September 15th model, that's what we'll be using. And let's come back to, I mean, this is part of this generative adversarial networks and variational autoencoders. I'll just give these terms. And courtesy chat gpt, I just picked up, did a straight lift from chat gpt and pasted it here. It's not my intelligence, it's gpt has helped me. Thanks to chat gpt for that. And let's come back to eliza. What is this eliza? So ELIZA is the first artificial intelligence program which was developed in early 60. But if you see that 64 to 67 is when Mr. Joseph has submitted this in MIT. So luckily, I got a chance to see its code, not in the original version, but in GoLang. I got a copy of that program. I saw that with, it's very simple how he developed it with arrays and strings. It was very excitement moment when I saw that ELIZA program. This is the first breakthrough in artificial intelligence, which was done in 1960. Okay, just wanted to show you that. But I got the program in GoLang. And now come back to OpenAI. OpenAI is a company which started as a open source, and then to support different customers, they need to hire different engineers, and it has become a full-time job. And then it has converted into a company to support what they have started as open source or a free version. And now Microsoft is one of the major contributor investment perspective in the OpenAI. And Azure is the exclusive one which gives this access to OpenAI. Okay, and Transformer is one of the model. Okay, it's not a physical device. Transformer is in the context of artificial and machine intelligence, not a device, but it is a deep learning model architecture. Okay, now GPT, generative pre-trained transformer. Okay, you can go through this one. let's start with the hands-on. So what is this tokenizer and why do we need to worry about this tokenizer? We'll see that in a minute. So if you go and see this, we'll do try one or two there. Oh Christ. uh, Tokenizer. So if I come to this tokenizer, you can come in here. So tokenizer is, they have given the rules of the game. What the tokenizer is, the rules is approximately 4 characters of text in English. So roughly 100 tokens equal to 75 words. Let's take whatever is here and copy and paste it. You'll see that here it is one token, exclamation and s is another token, with space important. If you see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10, these 10 characters are one token, these two characters are one token. So what is that algorithm behind this? I really don't know, but there is an algorithm which decides that this much of content is of these many tokens. If you see that, can take calc and do, I'm little weak in max by 57. So it's approximately 4 characters. Okay. It's approximately 4 characters. So we will be charged for this number of tokens. What is that? We will see it in a minute. Okay. So let me come back to this one and Azure Open AI. So if I go to that Azure Open AI, uh, Azure Open AI, we'll see in the documentation what is that it is going to charge us. We can see that. Just a moment. Let me open the main documentation, browse the documentation, and within the documentation we can see that there are different kind of models are there. Here we'll have the pricing also, the legacy models as well as pricing. So before we jumping into any of those things, we have to be little careful on that. What is our requirement? Do we need it? Like you have a tomato on the kitchen table and you need to cut it. You can use the kitchen knife or you can get a chainsaw and use the chainsaw on the tomato. So you might dismantle the kitchen table itself in the process of cutting this tomato. Jokes apart, but because use a approximate or right tools for the right job. So just that we know something, we can't use it at all places. And another thing is choose the pricing also. So pricing might vary based on the location. If you see Switzerland, I think these all are pretty stable. I'm not seeing any changes. And also you can see that there are base models. Even if you see the text models itself, the text DaVinci 003 performs much better than other models. So text, when I'm comparing the text models, there are embedding models, speech models, there are different models are there. Okay. Now from the model's perspective, if you come and see that these are the rules of the game or fundamental things which we need to understand. So when we go to any of the model, what is that it is going to support, and also the training data. Now we have the latest one. I'll show you what is that we are using. And if you see that when till what date the training data is there, that means September 2021. If you ask any question post that, we might get two results. I don't know. I'm thinking it might say that, hey, I've been trained. I myself faced this couple of times when I asked some question to ChatGPT. It said that I was trained till September 2021. I'm not sure about this. And I heard from someone, it might give use its own intelligence and creativity and it might give an answer also. I'm not sure because I faced this twice, but I totally agree with the other guy who was telling that it might give it because it has got tons and tons of data. But now whatever the model which we are using, that model is the latest model. Where is that model date? Is still, come on, it's September 2023. I told you, isn't it? 15 September 2023. That is the model which we will be using it. Okay. So we have to see that what is that it is supporting, and cost also, and the region. Something which is cheap, but if it is far away from the location where we will be using it, so we will need to spend time uh, in the latency. Like we need to make a call from here and go there and get the data. I think that's pretty much good enough for us to kickstart. I think we spent a decent 15 minutes time on that one. So let's spend 1 or 2 minutes time here. So I'm asking it, this is the model. If you come to this deployments, here is where I deployed this model. You can see a lot of details it is giving. And the deployment name is very much important. Somewhere in the in my program or different samples, you might hear the word called model or model name, but technically they are asking the deployment name. Okay, technically they'll be asking the deployment name. We can go and click on that, select the models. You can see there are a lot of models out there. I do have access to ChatGPT 4 also, but that's in a different region. This is East US, that is East US 2. So until 3.5 and 3.5 turbo 16, I do have this one. And text embedding, query, and different things are there. We'll be doing uh, uh, mini projects starting next episode onwards. It's fully project based only, nothing like we do hello world. It's fully project based. Okay, that's a very simple thing. We need to deploy that one. I already deployed it a month ago. Okay, so let me come back here. We have completions. Let's focus on completions as of today, and we'll come back to a mini project in the next episode. I'll show you that also. We can use the examples which it has got, and if I do click on generate, and it goes and generates this one. Now if you see that, it is, I'm being charged for 75 tokens, so total content. So we can do that. I can copy this, come back to here and put it here, and the response is 65 tokens. What? It charged tokens is 75. Okay, we have the prompt, and we have the prompt and also the response. So here in this, it clearly says that it is 72 tokens is what we are being charged. Okay, so some of the things, if we use uh, the tool, I mean, maybe I have written the tool or someone else have written the tool, but what is happening is we are unable to understand that what is that we are being charged for the question, and what is being we are charged for the output. So for that, we have to write some kind of small utilities kind of thing. So I just wanted to show you a real quick. I'll say user underscore prompt, and I'll comment this. And if I come back and if I come back and execute under the hoods, so we'll see that here the temperature is 1. That means it will use its creativity. It is telling us 2 jokes. But if I print the entire response, that's where we will come to know that few other internal things here. See that? Here it says that the prompt tokens, what the question I have asked, is 10. And the completion tokens is the response, whatever it is receiving, it is giving us, it is getting charged 51 tokens for that. A total of 61 tokens. So when you're seeing the whatever the number we are seeing over here is the total number of tokens. Total number of tokens which is being charged. So the total number is the input which you are given plus output it is generating. Sum up of these two will give this one. So this is the 65 tokens. So these kind of small utility will help you dig deeper into that one, like what kind of things are coming. So these are the latest models which we are using. It says that hate filter and severity it is giving safe, because we are not asking anything which is outside the general usage principle, or if it is violence we are asking or something, it will flag it. Okay, so that's about the little bit of fundamentals, like what is AI Studio. So if you come here, the Azure Open AI is here, and you will have that go to studio. You will come to the studio and you can play with it. DALI and other things will come back later. So the next thing is we will play with the Python. We'll play with this Python notebooks. Okay, that's our next task. Okay, so if you see, so this is a Postman collection, and here is the environment variables which I've created. So that environment variables, you have to replace your OpenAI key, your base URL, and completion models. So when I said completion models, it is technically I'm talking about the deployment name. It's not completion models. It is technically I'm speaking about the deployment model name. So that's how I saw that example. I started using it, but technically it is deployment name. So let's see a few of these things and cover a little bit more ground on the fundamentals. So if you see that here I'm saying, give me a single liner tweet for my 1001 dosa center, homemade spices with love. So it goes and it creates. So at the bottom, you see that it has given a single liner. It has given 5 single liners. That means I've given n equal to 5. So that means whatever the max tokens I'm telling is for one response. Here I said that create 5 responses. Okay, so 5 responses means it will create 5 response, and we will be charged heavy on this one, because what we are telling is the max tokens is 200 tokens. We are saying that best of 10. That means internally it generates 10 responses. Out of the 10, it picks up 5 and it gives us the 5 responses outside. But see that we are being charged for the total 10, not for the 5 responses which we are seeing it here. Even though the things are pretty small, but we'll be charged. That's how it calculates. Okay, and it really does a very good job. Like, experience the authentic taste of homemade spices with love 1001 dosa. It's pretty good. Okay, let's see something else, a different one. Suppose if I'm asking, give me country name, capital, state, national bird, country, population for India in JSON format. So here we are putting our prompt engineering skills into play. So what it does is it goes and gives the country name is India, capital state is New Delhi, and the national bird is Indian peacock, and the country population it's giving here. So here there's one thing. If I say Africa, you see the output will be a little bit different. We might think that what is GPT not doing a proper job? It's giving this information. Like if I give exactly South Africa, if I give the South Africa, you see that capital state it is coming now. Exactly, it is coming. So sometimes what happens is the creativity might give a different results, or it could be issue with our prompt. Not always saying that, hey, chat GPT has been trained like this, it's not giving uh, proper response. It's the way we prompt it. We have to fine tune the prompt. Like if you're not getting what is that we require, now we need to understand that we are not communicating it to the completion model or to the model in a proper way. So that's one thing. We have to UAE, United Arab Emirates, and if I click, it clearly gives this information: United Arab Emirates and Abu Dhabi, the national bird and the country population, everything it is giving. Let's see another example. I'm saying that input. This is another way we are saying that, hey, here is an input, and give me the uh, give me this tweet. How many tweets I asked? I think I have asked only one tweet. So simple. So prompt token is 33 tokens. So the completion tokens is 55, a total of 88. So see this it is giving 88 tokens. So if I make this echo true, so see the output, whatever it generates, the text has got only output. It doesn't have input. Input we have specified as part of the prompt here. Now if I say true, if I if I flag it as true, that means what happened is, see the output. The prompt is here, and if I see the output, so the output has got input as well as output. So now we are being charged twice for the input. Okay, there might be a scenario. I'm not telling that you should never use echo to true, but I'm telling you that there are definitely scenarios where we have to use echo to true, but you have to be mindful that when you use echo to true, you'll be charged for the input twice, because once you'll be charged for the input prompt what you're giving, and once when it is spitting out the output, it is throwing the input back to us. Okay, and another thing which I have shown in this example, the first example where n was 5, so we said that, hey, generate the 5 responses. You can do that in a different way also. We can put this in your prompt itself. You can say that, hey, tell me 2 jokes. Instead of putting n equal to 2, I can tell me 2 jokes. So it is going to tell me 2 jokes, and you see that in the output it is giving 2 jokes here itself. Suppose if I say that n equal to 2, here please tell me a joke on software engineer. See that object, it is choice of 0. That means a single element inside the choices array it is coming. But now if you see that in the choices there are 2 objects. If you see that here, if I say it is 1, and let me revert the code back, tell me 2 jokes, and this also I'll revert it. And if I go and hit this now, we got the choices. Inside the choices, if I minimize the choice, so it is giving us only a single object. But if I specify I need 2 jokes, this is the other way to give instructions. Tell me a joke on software engineer, but I'm asking it to tell me 2 jokes, but I'm driving that through an n parameter. So here if you see that the choices will be 2 choices. So your client application should be mindful of that, how you're prompting. Your choices object is different, it will come differently, so you have to traverse it. Okay, so if you always assume that the choice of 0 dot text, that means you will get only 2 jokes, because you are driving the n parameter from here, and you're not instructing it to do the way it was doing. Like here in this thing we are saying that tell me a joke, so that means choices of 0. When you have n, the choices will be n or lesser, might be because of the max tokens itself, like we'll see that one. Here the stop reasons is also, stop reason is finished. So when the stop reason is finished means, it could be I'm saying that hey, consume only 80 tokens, not more. So let's see that. So let's see, finished reason is saying stop, so I want only 20 tokens to be consumed. Let's see that. So here it says that stop reason is because of length, because the tokens. So we said that we are restricting from the tokens perspective. So different reasons will be there inside the stop. So if I remove that, now we'll see that I said that give me this country information. So it is giving all this one. So I can tell that Abu Dhabi, I can put it here and see this. It generated everything. It generated the country name, capital, state, national birth, and country population. Now I'm putting Abu Dhabi as stop. So now in this scenario also it will say that the stop reason, the finish reason is stop. But see this, as soon as it encounters a word Abu Dhabi, it stops generating because we have given the stop sequence array. So there will be multiple reasons. If it is saying stop reason, finish reason is stop, it could be because the it has completed its job. The second stop reason could be you have given the array of stop sequences, so when it encounter any one of the string it will stop. So finish reason stop has got two reasons, and another reason is it could be because of the length. Okay, so we have covered how to do it in Azure Studio, OpenAI Studio, and we have seen that prompt engineering in action in Postman. Now let's jump to the third section where we'll be trying with the Python notebook. So here, couple of things. So environment variables, we can do this one, or we can use it using the PowerShell or any of those things. PowerShell like setx, getx using command, or on Mac we can do export. We can do it many different ways. Just give me a minute. Okay, we can do many different ways. So instead of floating this, because I myself flashed the OpenAI key 6 times when I'm giving demos at different places. I flashed my own env file, so that's when I moved the API key to set environment variables, this one. So now even if I show you my env file, the API key will not be there. So this I felt it's at least a little bit safe until unless someone gets hold of my laptop and get into that environment variables. Apart from that, it's all safe. So let's go, jokes apart, let's go and see this one. So there are two ways to perform the completions. So let's quickly see that over here. I'll come back and let's come back to the completion here itself. And they have given the code to the core. Okay. So if you want to do something with C sharp, just select the C sharp. You'll come in here. They have given the step-by-step instructions where the keys you can get it. And they're using setx, as I was mentioning. You can use export, or you can use set environment variables, or this one. Okay. In the in this one, we can use the syntax and different things. Everything has been given right here. We can see this one. Okay, any language you want to do this one. Let's see. One more thing is, if I select text, if you see this one, the C sharp program that is using an object, that means we are calling here the client, where you are creating the OpenAI client dot get completions or get completions async, and you are passing the completion options. And how it was, this is the latest one as of today. If you see the previous one, the previous one, in the sense, if I come here, this is RC2. Now if I use, it's beta 8. If I use beta 9, it's I have to pass the deployment name in here in the completion model, in the completion options, where I'm creating this one, new completion options. The second parameter, if you see this, in this one you have get completion async. We can pass two parameters, deployment model name and completion options. So this is beta 8. Now this is beta 9, where the completion options is taking only one parameter, and that parameter is completion options. Within the completion options itself, you will have, see this, within the completion options itself you can write the deployment name and prompt. So deployment name is should be here. That's the latest one. Always look at the official documentation. Okay, so we are using the strongly type object. That is one thing I just wanted to communicate. Now, if you see that there is other way to do the programming is through the REST API. That means in any programming language, if you are able to do it in curl, you'll be able to do it in any programming language. That means if I come to the Postman, we did this, I can click on this icon, and there are loads of programming languages it is supporting. The entire program. See that? You want HTTP, JavaScript, whatever you need it is there, readily available. So, like that, it will be, if REST API means you can do it pretty easily. So, again, if I choose Python, so I can use the Python programming to do a HTTP request. It's similar to the REST API call, whatever we are doing with the Postman. Or we can use the library itself, which does the job internally, the strongly typed object. So I will show you both the ways. If you see this Python notebook, here technically what we are doing is we are importing the OS. OS is imported because we are reading the OpenAI key from the os.environment variable. No way it is there in the env file. And rest of the things we are reading it from the env file. And another thing is, if you see that we are creating the request object and we are making a post call, that means we are simulating whatever it's happening over here, we are doing it through this one. So it will go and hit this and get the data. It's as simple as that. So let's see, run the program, and we'll see that. Give me a single line around tweet. So taste the love in every bite with 1001 dosa centers, homemade spices, hashtag homemade spices, love in every bite. Wow. I'm feeling hungry now. Now, here, if you see that, here we are using the OpenAI. In this one, if you see that, we are using import OS, request, and .env. Now, one change here, we are using the OpenAI. So instead of using the REST API, we are using the package from PyPy. So if you see here, it's little bit because you have a strongly object OpenAI. So you go to that and assign those variables, and then you write your prompt, you drop it here, and it does this one. And I was mentioning the completion model is the version is pretty latest. Like we can print that. We'll print the version over here. Now we're clicking in. You can see that it's September 15th latest model. This one. So here I just wanted to show that flavor where you get this, either you can print it or you can want to do a deep dive into that object, see that what is the return type and all those things. You can get deep into the weeds by splitting that entire object and go and do this one. So this is the third way we did it. First one with Azure Studio, second one with Postman, and third we did the Python notebooks. Now we'll do it with the scripts. So again, when you're doing with the Python notebooks, this is common whether you're doing with the Python notebook or you're doing with the Python script. Okay, for Python programming, there are two ways we were doing. One is pip install OpenAI. OS is needed. OS comes by default. OpenAI, request, and Python.net. So these two you will use it if you're using REST. If you're using the strongly typed library, the object, then you need OpenAI and Python.env. We saw that one. Now we'll see this one. So I've given instructions how to create uh, the virtual environment. Now we can do a pip install of the virtual environment, and pip install virtual environment, Python M, and completion demo. I just created some name for the completion model. You can see that or the suggested naming convention for creating the virtual environment is uh, dot venv or venv. Those are the two things suggested by the documentation also, and I felt that that's very good. And some of the Python tooling, they will automatically block these things. Like if you go and search for gitignore file for Python, you will see that venv dot venv and dot example. These are some of the some of the names. By default it is added in the gitignore file. Okay, so now let's go and do the here within this, in the virtual environment, you see the scripts. Inside the scripts, you see this is the bash. If you're working on Linux or Mac OS, and there's a bash file, this is the Python. So you want to activate the you want to activate this oh god activate this environment. What you need to do is then oh, scripts activate. The moment you do that, it activates. This shows that you are inside the virtual environment. To deactivate, all you can do is type deactivate. You're out of that. Okay, completion model and scripts and activate. Let's come back to this one. So here, as I was mentioning, this is just to showcase uh, two different things. One is how do you spit the entire content, entire response to understand it better. So just execute the Python script, and it goes and hits it. And here we are seeing that prompt user prompt token is 10, completion tokens is 59, and n number. So I can pass different tokens if I want this one. So control and forward slash, that's the shortcut in VS Code to comment any line or a set of lines. Here I'm asking it to write the tweet, and I need 5 tweets. So again, the prompt engineering in play. I just gave its instruction that give me this one, and I told I need 5 tweets. So it's pretty intelligent that it's going ahead and creating 5 different tweets here. And this one we are using the OpenAI. And another advantage of this is I can click on that, come into this object, and probe a little bit deeper into this one. See that what is the object or what parameters I need to pass. Sometimes if I am unaware of that one, I can come and click on this and see that what parameters it is using. Sometimes if I'm not passing any parameters, I can go and validate it. What is that we need to pass to this one? And it's all coming to the lib side packages. Let me show you this one. This one is very simple. The only thing is whatever the endpoint which we have it here, the same endpoint we are formulating. We are doing through the f string, so which replaces like a um, string replacement, string interpolation. So f string, we do the string interpolation. So we're reading the env file and getting the base URL, OpenAPI deployments, and the engine or the deployment name, and API version is September 15, 2023, and we are calling this one. And here again, just to be on a safer side, I used it the env, and I can come and do the completion and this hit it. So that's pretty good. We got it, the output. So the next thing is we'll come back and we'll see one simple thing. So here again, the prompt engineering is coming into the game here. So we are in .NET 8. It's beta This one is beta 8 and beta 9 will do that one, but at least I can bump these libraries to .NET 8 without any fear, because the coding itself is changing here. Because right now we are using the model name here. The only one change, I don't want to do it here because I just figured it out now, so I just don't want to change it. So the golden rule of thumb: if something is working in production, do not touch it. So uh, here we are using the configuration builder. I want to read the app settings. I have added those parameters and put it here, and untrack, so it's not going to track it even if I do any changes. Or you can use the user secrets also. So we are creating the AI client. We are passing the OpenAI endpoint and OpenAI key. So see the difference, env. And here I have to show you two different things. So uh, two different things. One thing is, where is that? Yeah, here. Item group user include system.console static equal to true, include system.environment alias. So that means if you come into this program, you see that right line, all the places you see that right line, you don't see that console dot right line or console dot. So we are saving. How is that possible? You can do, one of the way to do is you can write it here, or the other way we can do is come here and you can specify using static system dot console. You can specify this way also. So that's one thing. You can do it this way. The second way, what we can do is, if something of that kind is there, we can create our own global using files and add those things wherever we want to use it. So the third method is to put it here. So what is that? If you put it in the CS project, what is the advantage? I'll show you in a minute. So if you come to the OBJ inside the debug, here you will see the project name .global usings. If you see that, whatever we write it here in the CS proj is getting injected into the auto generated file. So this file is auto generated, and every project template has got set of libraries it's injecting automatically. Like we see this system namespace and the collection namespace, IO link, these are getting injected by default. So the other two methods, if we have to use the using static some namespace dot class, if you're using in 10 files, you need to write that line in 10 place. To avoid that, you can put it in the global, your our own custom global usings, not this usings which is getting auto generated. You can do that way. So the better suggested way to do that is here in this place. I was reading Mark J. Price .NET 7 book. So in that book, I picked up this. It's a, I felt it is better way to do this one. He wrote it clearly that do this method, it's better. Why? Because when we write it, it is auto generating. While auto generating, it is considering the CS proj file and seeing that any instructions we have given here, put it in the global. And here we are doing two things. We are using static as well as we are aliasing. Okay, that's a couple of tips from the latest .NET 8, and the performance and other things are pretty good. I don't want to derail the AI session with .NET 8, so I'll hold myself for some more time. That's one thing. Now, if you see the prompts, how we are doing is, the first prompt is the plain prompt. Okay, now the second prompt, I think the first two without the desired output. Here, with desired output. What I'm telling is, give me all these things. The desired output is JSON array. And I'm saying output. So that means this is going as part of the prompt itself. And when it is generating the output, it just generates the output. If not, if you see in the previous, if I give answer as part of my prompt itself, okay, if I give this as part of my prompt, and if I ask it to generate, so it knows that it has to generate. See that it didn't write that answer. So something you're saying that, hey, this is the input, this is output, generate it from here. So that's what we can do it here. I'm specifying the desired output also here. So when I do that desired output, and when we execute it, and again, when you use n, please be very mindful that we need to traverse that choices collection to go and get the data. And just the accompanying DLL is pretty simple DLL, where it goes and writes the header and footer. That's not a big library, it's a very small library. I'm a little fond of colors. I don't know why. So I write these colors. This is one. You see this? The first one is without any formatting or output desired format. Now here I said that the desired format is JSON array, and it is giving the top two countries because that's what I asked here. And I could have asked more countries here. We can do that. It's not a big thing to top four in XML. Technically, XML is a little bit more number of bytes. I could have done it the reverse way: two in XML, four in JSON. So it's making a call. You see that? Oh, I think the length, due to the length, it is stopping here. And here, it makes sense now. In this prompt engineering, the desired output is very important, because assume a scenario when you're integrating this your program, including the artificial intelligence and including your legacy mainframe systems or something which uses a fixed length string. Then you can ask that, hey, give me the country name and the population and the capital within this fixed length string, and the first country name should occupy 20 characters, and 21 to 40 characters should be population, and 40 to 60 characters should be the capital city. So that is what the Azure OpenAI prompt engineering will be helpful. So there is nothing to be scared. You should know that how to use the artificial intelligence at OpenAI. So humans, we have to use it. It will not use us. Okay. So that's when you're integrating with your legacy system. Assume that the latest one, which we will see in the next episode, we will create our own duplicate chat GPT or chat GPT clone or fake chat GPT, whatever I want to call, I'm calling it. We'll create a similar uh, type of chat GPT. We'll have .NET 8 and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, simple technologies. And the .NET 8 is minimal API. And then the HTML, JavaScript, CSS, these three will remain common. And if someone is from Python world, we will have a Flask API which does the same job. So the Flask API, or I'm calling it as a middle tier. So middle tier, whether it is a .NET 8 minimal API or Flask API, goes talks to the Azure OpenAI, and the client HTML, CSS, JavaScript will talk to that. So there also it is very important that what is the contract between the UI and your middle tier is very important. Now I get this content, then I'll store it in a SQL database. That's our second project. We'll be doing that one. Okay, the travels application solution which we are doing, that will be for 2 episodes, but that is what we'll be doing. So we are on time. And the GoLang, I don't want to rush it because at this point of time we are 1 minute away. I'll want to see if we have any queries. Uh, Rashmita?
Hey, thanks, Swamy. Thank you. I am guessing you have taken all the questions, right, Swamy? I'm not sure if you have
No, no.
answered those.
We will go through the. We will go through the questions. We'll go through the questions. If you can share
Yeah.
GitHub
So,
link, please. I'm sharing. 1 second, Rashmita. There are a couple of queries also. We'll go through those queries,
yeah.
and we'll see what is that I'll be able to address. I think cranky programmer, if I'm not wrong. I've given the this one. Can you please clarify that Azure OpenAI is based on and using OpenAI? Yes, uh, Azure OpenAI. Microsoft is one of the biggest investor in that, and it is using OpenAI. Okay. Um, yes, we will be charged for the input also. Is it more expensive to put in? Because whatever the max tokens which you are specifying, that max tokens is for one. If you put it n equal to 2, that means uh, assume that max token we said 100. So assume that now you said n equal to 2, that means there will be 200 tokens cap for it. Okay. Um, how many prompts I can send? Okay, how many prompts you can send? That's where initially AI Electra. So what happens is the prompt, whatever the prompt which you're sending, you need to see that which model you are using, and based on the model it has got the token limits also, so we need to consider that before we are using, and also the charges and the model you are choosing. So some of the models which might charge lesser, some of the models which will charge little bit more than others, so we need to see that. Okay, back to you, Rashmita. Thanks. I think I've covered queries.
Thank you so much, Swami, for hosting an amazing session. Thank you all for joining us today, and please visit Microsoft Reactor website for more upcoming sessions. Feel free to use the Learn module link shared in the chat section. This will give you access to additional resources to take your learning further. Thank you all once again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Good night, folks.